Hello Waka Waka. On Saturday is a very special day for us. It's what we call ANZAC Day. And ANZAC Day is when we celebrate all of the men and women, the nurses, the soldiers, everybody who's gone overseas and fought for us to have the wonderful country that we live in today. There are some things that are going to come up on the Glenbrook page with some activities and things you can do. One of the things that people are being asked is to go out very, very early in the morning when it's still dark and to stand at your mailbox with your grown-up for 1 minute in silence to say thank you to those people. Thinking about that, I thought, how could we make that 1 minute in silence a little bit more special? And I thought we could make a craft to go along with that time. You might not want to do your minute of silence in the very early morning when the sun's coming up. You might want to do yours during the day or in the evening. But here are some ideas that I thought you could make out of things that you have at home. Okay, so hopefully you might be able to make one of these things from things you have round about the house. First thing we're going to make is a lantern. So we're going to start off with a milk bottle. When you've drunk all the milk out of your milk bottle, you're going to get a grown-up to help you, and with some scissors, you're going to cut your milk bottle in half. Make sure you rinse all the milk out of it first, or it'll be very, very smelly. Once you've cut it in half, this bit can go in the recycling. You don't need it anymore. This part is going to be your lantern. Now, I was very, very lucky because when we went into lockdown, I had some special felts at home called permanent markers, and that means they can write on plastic. If you have any permanent markers, you can do your drawing right onto your lantern. So I'm going to have a go at drawing onto my lantern now. And I'm going to draw the shape of a poppy. It's not very easy to draw on plastic. And there you have it. I've drawn poppies on one side. Now, if you don't have permanent markers at your house, you try drawing on the plastic with felts, it's just going to rub off on your hands. So that's not going to work. But there are other things you can do. Mrs. Lee has done a little video on how to draw poppies of your own. I've had a go at drawing some poppies. I've just drawn them with felt onto some white paper and I've cut them out. And I can glue or sticky tape them onto the outside of my lantern. Just like that. So now I've got the flower I drew and some more flowers I drew, but this time on paper. If you don't want to draw your own flower, or if you try and it's really frustrating and you can't do it, maybe Mummy and Daddy have got some ink and a printer at home, and then you could look up a picture on the internet and print it out. And that's where I got this picture from. I just printed it off the computer, cut it out, and stick it onto my milk bottle. There are lots and lots of websites that even have free colouring in pages with pictures of poppies, so you could print one out and colour it in. When you have decorated all the sides of your lantern, you need to find a small torch if you've got one, or a small candle. Now remember, if you're going to be using matches, you must have a grown-up. I've got a little candle that I'm going to put inside mine, and then when I light it, hopefully the light will shine through, and then you'll be able to see the light shining through for all the people on ANZAC Day. So that's one idea. But remember, you can use a torch, you can use a little candle, or you can just draw them. But if you are using a candle, you must have a grown-up help you. That's idea number 1, an ANZAC lantern. Now, the next thought I had was ANZAC Day is in autumn. Oh, my candle was very smoky. ANZAC Day is in autumn, and if your yard's anything like mine, you have got an awful lot of these. I've got some lovely red autumn leaves in my garden. So I've gone and collected up a whole lot of leaves. I know that the poppies are red, and I know red is our ANZAC colour. So I thought I would make an ANZAC wreath using some leaves that I found on the ground. So I'm sure you don't have cardboard lying around at home. I don't have cardboard lying around at home either. But what I did have was a box of crackers. So I've just opened up the crackers and I've glued a bit of white paper onto it so that it looks nice. Now I'm going to use a side plate to make the outside of my wreath. I'm just going to draw around the outside of the plate, and I've got a nice big circle. That's the outside of my ring, but I'm going to need an inside. So I've got a bowl, which is a bit smaller. That's a bit too small. And I'm going to draw around that. And I've got an inside. It's a bit squiffy, but that's all right. Now all I need to do is cut out my circles. Fold it in the middle and make a little cut in it. Then I can open it up, put my scissors in the cut, and I can get in to cut out the middle. Remember, when you're using scissors, try and stay on the line, take lots of little cuts, watch what you're doing, and if it gets really frustrating, go and talk to one of your grown-ups. They can help you. Okay, now I've got a circle with a hole in the middle, a bit like a donut. What I'm going to do with my donut, I'm going to put some paper down on the table so I don't make my table all sticky, is I'm going to put a lot of glue onto my donut. Make it really sticky, just about a quarter of the way around, and then I'm going to choose one of my leaves and I'm going to glue it down. And then I'm going to choose my next leaf and I'm going to glue it down so it's a little bit over the top of the last leaf, like that. And I'm going to keep going round, gluing down leaves till I get all the way around my donut. And there you go. I have filled my wreath with lovely autumn leaves. Now you might want to put a piece of paper in here and put a little message on it. You might want to write thank you. You might want to write ANZAC Day 2020. You might talk to the grown-ups in your house and they might tell you about your great-grandpa or your great-great-great-grandpa who fought in the war. You could write something about them in there. That's another idea, making an ANZAC wreath out of autumn leaves. Now I've got one last activity for you to try. And that one is if you have any eggs in your house. So if Mum's finished with the eggs, or Dad's finished with the eggs, and you ask, can I have the egg carton please? You can use your egg carton to make a little poppy. What you're going to do is you're going to open the egg carton and you're going to cut off these bits on the inside. These are the bits we're wanting, the round bits, not the lid. The lid you can use for a different creation. So I'm going to cut right through. It's quite hard cutting through this. You might need to get somebody to help you with this bit. quite a lot of snipping. Okay. Now I've got it, looks like this. It doesn't look much like a poppy, does it? So what I need to do is I need to cut off the extra bits. I'm going to cut it all the way around until it is all the same height. Like that. Okay, still doesn't look like a poppy. I need to make it into two separate flowers. Just going to cut through the bit where they're joined. Okay, now we know that when we looked at our poppies, when you drew poppies with Mrs Lee, you'll have seen that they've got 4 petals. So I'm going to cut 4 round shapes into my cup. There's one. Here is 2. 3 and 4. And I want to keep the petals nice and round. Okay, that's starting to look a little bit more like a flower now. I can bend the petals out a bit. Using some felt tip pens, I'm going to want red and black. I'm going to colour my petals red. As I've coloured the petals, now I'm going to colour the middle black. Then just folding them out over your fingers so the petals open up. One little ANZAC poppy. Now, you might want to put some sticky tape on the back and wear that as your ANZAC badge. Or you could make lots more of them and make a wreath and stick them on. I've even seen an idea where they sewed little bits of thread and hung them off a string, and you could make lots and lots that way. I hope you have heaps of fun making some ANZAC craft, and I hope you're having a lovely safe time in your bubble. See you again soon. Bye.